Hey, welcome to Fit for a Feast. My name is Katrina.
And my name is Sloan. Today we're here at the Burlington BG's Gymnastics Club.
And we're here with the head coach for trampoline and tumbling, Dennis.
And gymnasts Cameron and Melissa. And today they're going to show us some warm-ups and tips for strengthening and conditioning.
So we're going to start with some shoulder stretches.
So one shoulder stretch we're going to do is you're going to just take your arm like this and then bring it over and stretch it.
So how many times should you do it and how long should you hold a stretch?
Well, you should do all your stretches before you start an activity and at the end, and it's good to hold them between 30 seconds and a minute. Plus, whatever you do on one arm or one leg, you should always do on the other side as well to make sure you're fully warming up.
So the stretch here is good for your back and sides, where you just put your arms straight in front of you and just twist. And then another one you can do is you bend over at the hips, and then you try and touch each toe.
So how often should you do this?
Well, you should do this, like I said, at the beginning and at the end, and you probably do 10 twists standing up tall and then 10 twists bent over. What you're seeing now is a stretch that'll get your hip flexors and your quads. So what you do, go ahead, Melissa.
You put your knee over your ankle and lean forward, and you just pull up your back leg and grab it.
Now, if this hurts too much, you can just leave your one leg on the ground at first, and that'll get a good stretch, and then once you're comfortable, you can pull it back up and it'll stretch a little bit more.
And then you have to do the same thing on the other side.
Like every other stretch, you should do this for in between 30 seconds to a minute at the beginning and at the end. When you're doing like the beginning of an exercise, 30 seconds is enough. At the end of the day, when you're really trying to cool down your muscles, then going a little bit longer, so more towards a minute, maybe a minute and a half, is perfect. Okay, next we're gonna stretch your hamstrings and your calves. So those are the big muscles that go behind your legs.
Alright, so basically you're just going to put your legs straight out in front of you and make sure your toes are pointed. And you're going to reach out in front of you and try and touch as far as you can.
So what's important here is you see they have no space underneath their knees. They're pushing their knees right down, and that makes sure they get a nice good stretch behind their legs. If they're doing this and they flex their feet, so they pull their toes up, then instead of stretching behind their legs, it's gonna move down their leg and kind of just stretch behind their calf a little bit too. Like everything else, you do it for 30 seconds at the beginning and then closer to a minute at the end.
So then does that mean that when you're doing the stretch, you alternate from flex feet to point feet?
Yeah, you should always do both. Whichever one you start with is up to you, but making sure you get both is really important because it stretches the entire leg. Okay, so now we're gonna warm up our ankles.
When you do the stretch, you're just gonna put your hands in front of your knees and you're just gonna push up so your toes are curled under. And you can hold that for, again, a minute to 30 seconds to a minute. And then you're gonna go down and you can go back up. I'm just gonna keep doing that about 20 times. And then you can do one foot at a time. So you go like that, and then you keep switching. And again for 20 times. So thanks so much. These are really helpful.
You're welcome.
See you later on Fit for a Feast. Bye.